Hi guys, this is the warm-up problems that you just did. Number one is asking you to do synthetic division. We were practicing that a lot more yesterday, so hopefully you put your -9 in the box since you're dividing by p plus 9, and you know you have to do opposite of what you're dividing by. So you put your 0 number up in the box, put your coefficients down, you got a remainder of 0 on this one. So put your variables back in place, and your answer should be 2p to the third plus 4p squared plus 10p minus 4. On number 2, you're just asked to do quadratic formula. Again, here you go with typing or setting all that up. You should get 12.8 from under the radical right here. And then you can set it up as your plus problem and your minus problem, and your two answers are 0.85 and -2.4. And last but not least, what we were calling the easy way yesterday, add your 7. In this case, you actually have a 5 on that side. We didn't have anything over there yesterday. And then divide by 4 before you square root it. So this one's a little bit more than some of the ones we did yesterday, but nonetheless pretty similar. So today I'm asking you guys to do 4 problems in class to practice some more of what we did. So if you look at number 1, the x to the third minus 8x squared, or sorry, minus 8x minus 8, and you look at the graph of that, let's take a look here. And you're looking, remember, for your nice zeros, and you can see what appears to be nice zeros maybe at -2, possibly, maybe at -1, but it doesn't look like at 3. But I can definitely at least see 3 real zeros, 3 places where it crosses the axis. So let's check real quick again to make sure. And at -2, we have a nice 0, but that's it. Okay. So -2 is the only one right here that makes the cut for being a nice 0. So if that's the case, we've got to put -2 down as our nice 0. And then that means that goes in the box, and we're going to do synthetic division. With 1, we have to make sure we add a 0 in here. -8, -8. So do your synthetic division, and you end up getting x squared minus 2x minus 4. And like we talked about yesterday, if you have numbers in all 3 of these first spots, then you're going to have to do quadratic formula. And so when I do quadratic formula, I end up getting these as my answers. I get 3.25 and -1.25. So those are those 2 decimal places that we could see where it crossed, but not at really nice spots. So down here at the bottom, you had your -2, that was your nice one, 3.3, I just rounded this one, and -1.25. But I want to show you maybe a different way. If you're fine with this way, then you're fine. You don't have to do this. But I want to show you an alternative way based on something that we did do in the past. Okay, so here's that same equation. And I'm going to go back to my calculator. And I'm going to put this in as y1, which is already in there. But I'm going to go back to when we did intersection with 2 lines on our calculator, and we put y1, y2, and we did put the 0 in for the second equation. And so when I go back to my y equals, I'm going to go down here, I'm just going to put 0 in. And basically, I'm going to see where my cubic, this blue graph, intersects that red line, which is the 0 line. And if you remember, we do second, calc, and then we do 5, which was intersect, and we do enter, enter, enter. And it's going to give you those different numbers. So let's write that down real quick so that we remember. We do second, then we did calc, and then we did 5. And then you had to do enter, 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 enter. This will work on all the ones where you have nice places that it crosses. Obviously, it's not going to work on imaginary ones. Those don't exist. So what you can see is it went to the one that was closest to where my little cursors were. So it gave me -1.24, which was pretty close to what we had before. So let's write that one down. So one of our answers that we just got was -1.24. And we know we're still looking for 2 more answers because it's a power of 3 on our problem for the degree. So I'm going to do second calc 5 again. I'm going to have to do it 2 more times, but this time look where my cursor is. Before I hit enter, 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 I'm going to move over this hump and get close to this one. So I'm going to hit enter, 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 and we find that -2 that it had we already thought we knew. I'm going to write that one down, and then I'm going to go back to second calc 5, and before I hit any enters, I have to get closer to that nasty root over here. So now I can hit my enter, 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 and it gives me 3.24. So I had -2 and 3.24. Sorry, my son just came in. Sorry about that. So that's sick, Noah. So here's my 3 answers up here. Very similar, but you can use this if you see that your graph, like we saw in this one, is crossing for all these places that it actually touches the x-axis. Okay, so let's put this next one in and see if we can get any from here. So we know we need 3 answers again. Let's go up and change our equation. So we have x to the third. We need minus 3x squared minus 9x plus 27. Hit graph so you can see. I'm going to draw the graph on here. Let's see. What's this thing look like? It goes up, it comes down. Okay. It's doing something like that. And that appears to be 3. This appears to be -3. So knowing that we need 3 answers, x equals 1, 2, 3. This is one of them. I'm going to double check on my table to see if -3 comes up as a 0. And we know that this right here should be a double root. So we should get 2 answers there. So let's double check. Let's hit second table. And we do see that -3 gives us a 0 and +3 gives us a 0. Remember that +3, because of the way it looks on the graph, is a double root, but it's not going to show up twice on your table. So that problem's done. All right, let's look at this one. When you look at this equation, go back. This one's going to take a little bit to type it in. X to the 4th plus x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 2. Oh my God, I did it again. Let's try this again. All right, caret 3. You'd think I'd learn. Okay, so let's hit graph. What you see on this one is, a little bit-ish of a W. Something like that. Let's check these, but it looks like -2 perhaps, and 1. But we know that we need 4 answers. Second table. -2 is for sure 0. 1 is for sure 0. Okay, so for these, you're going to have to go ahead and register those two. -2, 0, and then you need 2 more. But because it doesn't cross 2 more times, we know that both of these are going to be imaginary. So this is where you're going to have to do that synthetic division. Look at the problems from yesterday. Okay, number 3, if you look at the graph, all of them cross. All of them cross, and you'll just have to find where there's nice places that it cross. Okay? Nice, not so nice. Let's put this one in. Clear this x to the third make sure I don't jack this one up. Minus 3x minus 3. Okay, so you can see it crosses 3 times. So now we're going to do second calc 5 and second calc 5 and just do enter, 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 and it's going to take you to one of them. All right, so we get that that one is -1. So x equals -1. Okay, now we're going to do it again. Second calc 5, but remember, don't hit enters. Move to the left, get closer to that one before you hit enter, enter, enter. And you got -1.73, I think. Clicked out of it really fast. Okay, one more time. We got to get this one over here on the right side. Second calc 5. And now enter, enter, enter. And you get positive 1.73. And you know from each of these, we could then write factors like x plus 1, x plus 1.73, x minus 1.73, like that. So just an alternative I thought I'd share with you guys.